Hello everyone and welcome to 5-Minute German. In today's video, we will learn the conjugations for regular verbs in the past tense. Learning this concept will help you make different kinds of sentences with different kinds of verbs in the past tense. And you can also use this in your A1 writing part and get good marks. I have already made a video on the conjugation of regular verbs in present tense. I will link it in the description below. You can go and check it out as well. So now let's not waste any time and let's get started. So we will start the lesson by doing a short recap of what are regular verbs and how to find the verb stem. After that, I will tell you how you can do the conjugations of regular verbs in past tense. Then I will tell you some exceptions that are there when doing the conjugations. And in the helpful tips section, I will give you a website to find verb types. And at the end, you will get a self-check form for practicing what you have learned in this lesson. I know that you are as excited as this cat over here, so let's not waste any time and let's start with what are regular verbs or regelmäßige Verben as they are called in German. So regular verbs are also called weak verbs or schwache Verben. They are a type of verb in which the verb stem remains the same when conjugated. So conjugation means the change in verb form due to pronoun or tense. Now what is the verb stem and how do we find it? So let me give you a rule on how you can find the verb stem. So for this, you need the verb in infinitive form. This is the form of the verb which you find in the dictionary. Then you will have to remove the ending en or n and you will be left with the verb stem. Let's understand this with two example verbs, machen, which means to do, and klingeln, which means to ring. So the first step is that we have to remove the ending en or n. So when we remove the ending en for machen, then we are left with the verb stem which is mach. In case of klingeln, we only have n, so we will remove n and we will be left with klingel, which is the verb stem for klingeln. Now let's take a look at the regular verb conjugations for past tense. So I have listed all the personal pronouns over here and we will take the regular verb lernen. This is in the infinitive form. Now this verb lernen, it can be separated into the verb stem which is learn and the ending which is en. Now the conjugation for lernen in the past tense will be ich lernte, du lerntest, sie lernte, wir lernten, ihr lerntet, sie lernten and sie lernten. Now as we saw earlier that a regular verb is a verb where the verb stem remains the same when conjugated. Now if we take a look at the conjugations over here, then we see that yes, lernen is a regular verb because the verb stem learn is present in all of the conjugations that we have done over here. Now let's take another example of the verb reisen, which means to travel. This can also be split into two parts, the verb stem which is reis and the ending which is en. So when we conjugate it, it will be ich reiste, du reistest, sie reiste, wir reisten, ihr reistet, sie reisten and sie reisten. This is also a regular verb because when we separate it, then we see that the verb stem has not changed in all of the conjugations. Now if we take a look at the conjugations for lernen and reisen, then we see that in the first person singular, both of them have the ending te. In second person singular, it is test. In third person singular, it is te. In first person plural, it is tan. In second person plural, it is tat. And in the third person plural and the formal way, it is tan. So this means that whenever we have a regular verb, then we can use these endings to conjugate it in the past tense, and we will not have to remember the conjugations of all of the regular verbs. However, there are a few exceptions, and that is when the verb stem ends with the letters de or te, then the endings change a little bit. Let's understand this with the example verb reden, which means to talk. So normally the ending with ish in past tense should be te. However, in this case it will not be te, rather it will be ata. So it will become ich redete. In second person singular, the ending should be tast. However, in this case it will be atast. So du redetest. For sie it will not be te, rather ata. So sie redete. For wir it will not be tan, rather atan. So wir redeten. With ihr it will be at, so ihr redetet, and for sie and sie it will be the same as wir, so sie redeten, sie redeten. So the rule when the verb stem ends with de or te is that you have to add an extra a before all the endings. Let's take an example where the verb stem ends with the letter te. So we have the verb warten, which means to wait. So the conjugation will be ich wartete, du wartetest, sie wartete, wir warteten, ihr wartetet, sie warteten, and sie warteten. So you just have to keep in mind whenever the verb stem ends with the letters de or te, then you have to add an extra e or a before all the endings. So now you know how you can conjugate the regular verbs in past tense. But how will you know if a verb is regular or not? So for this, I will give you a website which you can use to find the verb types so that you don't have to memorize them. So the website is called verbformen.com. So this is how it looks like, and over here you can give any verb that you want to check. So let's take the verb wohnen. So when you press enter, then you see over here that it gives you some information about the verb wohnen, and over here you see that it is a regular verb. You have some other information over here as well. For example, the meaning of the verb in English. You also have the conjugations in different tenses over here as well, and also some information about this verb at the top. Let's take another verb, for example, tanzen. So in the result, you see again that this is a regular verb. Let's take an example of a verb which is not regular. So I will write heißen, which means to be called, as ich heiße. So in this case, you see that it is an irregular verb. But this was just to give you an idea of how you can find whether a verb is regular or not. So I hope that this video was helpful for you. If you have any questions or any feedback, please let me know in the comments below. I have also prepared a self-check form for you where you can go and answer some questions to see how well you have learned this concept. So thank you very much for your time, and see you in the next video.